What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5. I'm your host, Berkan and Adam.
And I'm your host, Adam.
And together with our combined knowledge in PAX, we have a BA in PAX, which is fitting because I literally just graduated from UNT. So that was my degree. Surprise.
In PAX?
In PAX, in the hobby. I am certified master of, I guess certified bachelor in pack ripping.
You have a bachelor's degree in opening product.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe when we get to 1,000 podcast subs, we'll become masters in PAX. But
and then we can start handing out degrees.
We'll slowly get up there. This is episode 5. We're super excited to be back in a normal episode format. It's been a crazy few weeks, but we made it through, and I'm excited for what should be a good episode.
Heck yeah.
So this has been an interesting week. We've had some cool product releases, some crazy off-camera moments. So fun story. I went into my hobby shop. I could feel Adam's disappointment in me when I texted him. I mean, I was pretty bummed out, but I have a serious curse of only being able to have really cool pulls when I'm not filming. If I'm filming, it's complete trash. It's not good. It has not been great. But when the camera's away, I'm just ripping straight fire. I don't know what it is. So I'm at my hobby shop. Shout out to S&P Sport Cards. And they had this Prism hobby box that's been sitting, and it's kind of expensive to do. You know, you shouldn't really, I don't recommend buying one pack of Prism hobby just because it is kind of pricey. But they were talking about how the box has been complete trash. Like they haven't been able to pull anything. And in my mind, that kind of sets off some bells, because I know in every Prism box I've seen ripped, there's always at least one good pack. There's one good pack to justify
that. And you like the boxes that have the trash boxes. You like to bring glory to the trash box.
Yeah, you gotta justify the box. You gotta bring the box meaning. And so I grabbed a pack and I put it back. And that's when he told me it's been a trash box. And as soon as he told me that, I was like, oh, somebody's going to pull something really great out of the pack that I just put back. So I, without hesitation, grabbed it. And sure enough, for my weekly pickup, we got a Red Wave Prism Lamellar ball. Terribly centered, but I'll take what I can get.
Horribly centered, but a quality card. And now that he's back playing.
Yeah, and the Hornets in the play-in as of now.
Right now,
not too shabby. I'll take it. But so far, my 2 big Lamellar ball pulls, pretty much the only 2 Lamellar ball pulls I've been able to achieve, have been off camera. So that's been unfortunate. But my second pickup, I decided to pick up a guy who people compare to Luka, Danny Adria, still can't say his name, but I decided to pick up an Origins sticker auto now that he's hurt and people kind of not thinking about him. Figured it's a good time to go all in, so I figured why not?
Yep, maximized off the low point, possibly. Hopefully, the lowest it'll be.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, hopefully he bounces back. Fractured ankles are no joke, but I figured it was a good time. What about you, Adam? What you got?
So the last couple of weeks, I've gone a little PC wild, I think, on eBay. You guys, you'll probably see my video of the Trevor Lawrence box that I opened. That's kind of funny because, well, you'll see. But I bought a bunch of Maverick stuff. I mean, shocker. But this is probably the coolest card that I got. This is a Dirk Cracked Ice.
I love
Father's Day 2018 3-color patch to 25. I got this for such a good deal. I just couldn't say no. It was a good bargain. And then I think it was because like a couple weeks ago, Dwight Powell had like a stellar night where he scored like 20 points. Dwight Powell, for all of you I talk like everyone knows who he is.
Mavs legend Dwight
But
Powell, All-Star NBA MVP candidate Dwight Powell.
Mavs player who a lot of Mavericks fans are kind of frustrated with because he's super athletic. He's coming off a major injury, coming off an Achilles injury last year, but he's a really good role guy. And when you have Luka, role guys are, they can be really, really good in the system. So he had a really good system game, is what I would say, where he was like 11 for 12. I think he had against the Lakers on national
25
TV.
points or something
he
like
probably, that. I mean, every single one of his shots was within like 2 feet of the basket. So it was all like generated by Luka. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to look and see. I bet his stuff is super cheap. I'm going to look and see if I can start a rainbow of one of the products. So I decided that I would begin a rainbow set of mosaic. So I started, the very first one I got was this, I don't even know what they call it. I think it's like pink stripe. I mean, I think I need like a dictionary to figure out, or like a thesaurus. No, that's not even right. An encyclopedia of mosaic parallels so that I can figure out how many I need. But this is I think pink stripe. I don't know. It's numbered to 11. So that's cool. I got that. And then
They're
I got
really numbered to 11?
black, I thought it was just gold. Yeah.
I thought it was just a generic pink mosaic.
No. It's
I
went strong. If you're going to go for a rainbow, it's important to go for the big dogs first.
You got to get the legit rainbow.
Yeah. You got to go for the big ones first. So then I went the black gold. This one's numbered to 8. And this one is his jersey number.
Black gold mosaic looks
7
nice.
of 8.
Mosaic in general, I think it's super underrated. It started off really hot, then it just died so fast. I don't understand.
Looking nice. This one is one of my favorites. The Genesis, which are short printed, we don't know yet. I think the print runs around a little. My guess, it's like 100 to 150.
It's like the optic checkerboard. It's a mystery.
So,
I think it's less. I think it's like 25 cool. To be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's pretty cool. And then I also got a couple more Dirks. I've been on a cracked ice binge. So I got the orange cracked ice. And then I got this optic wing ticket blue cracked ice that I thought was sweet. So yeah. So that's those are my pickups. Probably won't have very many. I've got one more mosaic coming in that is slow rolling into my possession. So
amazing.
Yeah.
I really do think Mosaic is underrated. I feel like Mosaic did really well sales wise when it first came out. Obviously it's a new product, but if you look at the prices, they're super low. Like people, if you really want to get into the hobby and you want a chance at kind of cracking into 1920, I would go Mosaic, even football. Yeah. So right now the Mavs are playing with the Brooklyn Nets, and I believe they're about to get secure as when we're recording this, dating ourselves. And if they win, they're in 5th place out of the play-in. And speaking of the play-in, Luka Doncic had like maybe one comment. He wasn't as drastic about it. He said one thing and everyone overreacted. But LeBron said whoever thought the play-in should be fired. So Adam, what are your thoughts on the NBA play-in tournament?
Mark Cuban, earlier in the year, he had mentioned how much he didn't like the play-in right now. And obviously one of the common theme that you will see here is the people that are complaining about the play-in are generally the teams that are slated to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
And I personally, I've gone back and forth with it. Originally, I was anti-play-in when I was like, you know what, for the Mavs, I just want them to avoid the play-in. But the more I think about it, and the more from a fan's perspective, like a global or, a NBA fan, the play-in is awesome. Like the play-in is straight up a great thing for basketball. It's change. And one of the things that basketball, the NBA has been really good at over the last 30, 40, 50 years is change and adapting the game and growing the game to fit. They've done lots of changes, and the play-in I think is one that will stay. I think it's good. I mean, and honestly, I don't really care that much anymore if the Mavs are in it. I mean, that sounds crazy, but I do think if they can't win one game,
they should be in the playoffs.
One out of 2 games, honestly, if 1 out of 2 games, I'd rather be in the lottery. If you can't win one or two of those games, then go, get a chance at
I
a
don't know if
pick,
I'd
even though I
rather
think we
be in the
probably traded
lottery.
it. Well, not rather, but I mean, like, at least that's your consolation prize.
Yeah,
Not necessarily for the Mavericks specifically, because I don't think they have a pick for the next 20 years. It seems like always.
definitely not the next draft.
But
No.
yeah, but I mean, if you're a team like the Lakers, I get it.
It could
Skip
be
ahead, basically.
It'd be frustrating for LeBron James to be in a play-in tournament. I can understand that completely.
Yeah, I think the thing that Cuban said that I think that I 100% agree with is this is not the right year to have the play in. Like, if you're going to change things because of COVID, you change the season to 10 less games. You've not only have you changed the season, a number of games, you've consolidated the number of games into a short amount of time. And then those two changes, you pair those in with the fact that you're going to now have the play-in game as well. It just doesn't fit together well. And I think that's the issue that makes sense to me. What are your thoughts?
It's funny. At first last year I was for it when the Mavs weren't even in conversation. I was for it. This year when the Mavs were kind of hanging out in that little play-in bubble, I was against it as well. But then I realized I was being hypocritical and biased. So stepping back, I like the plan. I agree that this year may not be the right year, but then again, looking at the matchups, it's hard not to be excited. I mean, you got potentially Steph versus Lillard in a play-in. You got potentially LeBron versus Zion in a play-in. It's hard not to be entertained with some drama, and obviously
you've got some of the like top stars of today's game, like in their prime, like maybe the tail end of their prime guys versus some of the like new young guys who are supposed to be the it guys, let alone when you talk about like LaMelo and, the Hornets and, I mean, it should be in Ja Morant. I mean, it should be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm excited as a fan at this point, looking at what the plan for both conferences are going to look like. I'm excited, but you mentioned LaMelo, so that brings me to my next comment. Last year in the NBA playoffs, we saw Tyler Hero cards skyrocket. My gosh, they skyrocketed. So this year with the play-in, do you think LaMelo cards, for example, because LaMelo cards are going to go up. They just are. But do you think they're going to go up once he's in the play-in, or do you think they will only go up if they make it past the play-in and into the first round of the NBA playoffs?
I think they will. I think a lot of it, I mean, this is a cop-out answer, I think, but a lot of it depends on what happens in the next like 5 or 6 games. I think if they limp into the play-in, I mean, because right now they're pretty much
like the 8th, I think. So they're one win play-in team right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty much in. I mean, I don't see them. I think there's like so I'm looking at the standings right now, and I mean, they're a good, from the 11 seed, they're a good five game difference at least. So I mean, they would have to just fall apart to not, because there's only like 7 games left.
Yeah, there's 6 games. 6 games.
Yeah, for the Hornets, they're at 35. So they have 6 games left. So I mean, they would literally have to lose like every game, and the Raptors would have to win like every game the rest of the way.
Hey, I didn't think the Phoenix Suns would go 8-0 in the bubble, but they did, and they still didn't make it.
But to get your question, I mean, I think if the Hornets win like 3 or 4 of those games and kind of get into the play-in kind of riding hot, I think that his cards will go up. I mean, I think that's kind of inevitable just because they went down kind of dropped so quickly. If they win a game, if they win the first play-in game, then I think that they will probably peak.
I'm playing. My plan is I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell the Prism if they win a play-in. Because my thing is, for me as a collector, because and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, sometime in the show's hopefully long tenure. As a collector, I'm a PC collector, but I also do collect to invest. I like investing. It's a hobby. And for
Mhm.
me, I have a mellow auto on the way. So I feel like for me, I don't need every card. I don't need every single one of their cards. I'm good with just one. I'm not greedy. So
Yeah, I
because I
don't.
already have that one Lamellar, I might just sell this Prism at the peak and then use it, reinvest it into the hobby.
I think
So
that's fair.
that's my plan.
I think that's the way to do it. I mean, I think Lamelo to me is not a guy like a LeBron, or I mean, that's like a super unfair comparison, but he's not a guy hobby wise that you're like, I want to collect every single one of his cards, even if he's not. I'm going to hold every single one of his cards, even if he's not a PC guy for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, whereas like in football, I think it's a little different too, because quarterbacks
Yeah.
have such a huge impact on the hobby. And if you get a quarterback like back in the day, you think like 2006, you think Tony Romo. I mean, you get a rookie autograph of Tony Romo when he's doing nothing for the first 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden he's the all-star Pro Bowl starting quarterback for America's team. And then that
We
obviously
them boys.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, as far as playing, I mean, there's some sneaky guys I think that would be good to look at too. I think because I was kind of looking at that even before, I knew we were going to talk about this. I'm a little different. I'm still kind of getting into the way that people talk about investing in cards now is different. I don't want to jump the shark on this topic, but the way that people talk about investing now is not ever really how I collected or looked at investing. However, I do believe that the way that the card market, the card world, the trading cards as a whole what it has become, you have to kind of choose. Do you want to be a investor in that way and a PC guy or gal, or do you just want to do PC stuff? And whereas in the past, because of the pricing, because the prices weren't as high, you could invest kind of by default, because you would open product and then you would have the product and you would, I'm hoping I pull my favorite player. If I don't, then, I'm going to pull a rookie, or I'm going to pull this and that, and you just kind of hoard it until you can sell it and flip it and things like that. But you're unable to do that as much now because of the price of products. It's just too hard. You have to kind of choose wisely. And that's the thing that I personally am still kind of struggling, I guess you could say, with. It's the idea of spending, that amount of money on stuff. So anyway, I was looking for, if I was going to invest, I was looking at guys that I would look at. And one of them, you're going to probably laugh at me and probably say you're
White
crazy.
Powell.
No, not Dwight Powell. But the two guys that I was looking at for the Eastern Conference, besides the obvious, I mean, obviously LaMelo, honestly, the time to purchase his stuff was probably 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But I was looking at Bradley Beal, Prism, and Russell Westbrook, Topps Chrome.
Okay.
And the reason why,
that's not laughable, that's respectable.
Yeah, well, because they've been on fire. They've lost some close games, but they are the kind of team that could thrive in the play-in tournament. Because
I agree, they're scary.
Win one game and they're in. And nobody wants to, they match up fairly well with the 76ers. So like if they win their play-in game and they play the Sixers, I feel like they match up. This is me, just looking at athletes and players, not records and, historical matchups, but I feel like they match up well with the Sixers. And I mean, Beal, the thing about Beal to me is, even if he's not successful this year, he is going to find himself on a team.
Mavericks.
Yeah. Well, if it's Dallas, I mean, if you're hoping for hobby investing purposes, you're probably not going to want him to go to Dallas.
No,
you want him to go to like the Lakers or New York. I could see him. Well, he's too similar of a player it would be tough for him to go to the Knicks, but regardless, his rookie class, his rookie year is also the same rookie year of Prism. So his Prism rookie is the very first year of Prism. So that also has a kind of a token kind of significance to it. And you can get his Prism rookies. I was looking at it. I mean, I'm gonna pull it up. I was looking at it. I had saved a couple of them to see. You can get his just base Prism rookie for like $90. I mean, they're going from anywhere from like, 75 to like 120 in that range. And to me, that's a pretty good investment in a guy who will probably rise. And this is his raw ungraded. Will probably rise, and will probably, even if it doesn't rise now, if they don't win the play-in game, as soon as he moves teams, it will go up, because that's always what happens.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned Bradley Beal. I think with Russell Westbrook, I think that's actually really interesting, considering how the narrative is slowly changing back for Westbrook. How everyone respected him as a point guard last couple of years. Honestly, it's been kind of rough for him media-wise, but now he's kind of tearing it back up. He's found his groove again, and people are right there with him. So
yeah, and I think Westbrook is a little bit more of a risk, only because he's a little bit later in his career. He's been around the block. He's kind of got somewhat of a net, like you mentioned, he's gone up and down as far as favor in the league. And from the perspective of the fans / hobby. So I think that he's a little bit more of a riskier investment, only because if this doesn't work out in Washington and Beal leaves, then what happens to Westbrook? Is he in another situation where he has to go to another team to his 15, 14? He's been in.
This is his third team.
Yeah, so he's been in Oklahoma City, he's been in Houston, and now Washington.
Yep.
So he'd be on his 14. So I mean, that's tough. But if they win, Westbrook might be a quick flip, and Beal might be a hold. Kind of look and see.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I will say my last thought before we move on about that for Westbrook. I think, yes, his cards may be a risk, but I think you're looking at maybe, if we're really truly talking about an investment and not flipping, I think 8-10 years from now, when he's out of the league, you're gonna enjoy the fact that you have a Westbrook rookie, because I think because of his stats and because he did so much Oscar Robertson type averages and everything like that, I think you are looking at a good hold for the future, because I think his cards will rise in the future, like years from now, and they will stay high. So that's just my 2 cents on Westbrook. Moving on, we had a couple of new releases this week. The one big one not so crazy, but still pretty nice. In the basketball world, we had Crown Royale release 2021 released, and then the 2020-21 NFL Flawless released. Adam, you've had a chance to check out some of those. What do you think?
Flawless is a product that I love. It is your kind of dream product, I guess. One of the things I really like about Flawless is most of the time, the memorabilia in those sets are game used, which is kind of neat. And they always have some really, as many in the industry would say, chunky patches.
The good old patches.
They have some good stuff in it. They also have a lot of vets. The thing that I love about products like Flawless is because it's such a limited product. I think everything's under 25 print run. So you have to have a lot of veterans in the product, because you can't support a product like that with just a bunch of rookies. And you get some really quality, cool stuff. I mean, as far as if you're just trying to, make a quick buck, not every card's going to be a rookie. So it's harder to, make your money back, I think, but they have some really neat stuff in it. One of the funny things I saw, as you know, that you probably will know why, Berkan, I noticed this. I was watching a lot of, case breaks of that, and Marquise Brown.
Oh, okay.
So Marquise Brown, the wide receiver for the Ravens, Hollywood Brown, who notoriously had not signed probably most of the products. So he was a rookie. Was it last year he was a rookie, or was it 2 years ago? I guess it wasn't. Technically, it was 2 years ago. In the hobby, it was last year. So it was a 20, so not last football season, which is what we're in technically in the hobby right now, but the football season prior to that. So that would be the 1920
Yep.
season, I think. I don't remember. Either way, he was a rookie at least a season ago. His cards in this product have the rookie shield on them.
Yeah.
And so he's listed as a rookie in this set, and it's because he didn't sign hardly anything at all for his rookie year products. Everything was a redemption, and I'm pretty sure he was left out of Flawless for that reason in the last year's Flawless set. So he's got a rookie shield, which is weird to me.
See, I was watching Case Breaks. You texted me letting me know. That's how I found out it was released. You let me know. And I immediately pulled up a bunch of breaks. And I usually, when I watch Case Breaks, I usually go to Leighton Sports Cards. I never bought for them because I think they're a little pricey, but they always pull some incredible cards. So I went over to them and I watched their breaks, and I saw it took the first video I saw, it immediately turned me off from Flawless this year. Now there are some really incredible cards, but I cannot imagine how angry I would be if I spent like, what is that, $6,000 box? Something like that?
Something like that.
I cannot imagine how angry I would be if I spent $6,000 and in Flawless, you get like a little box of like 10 cards. And then there's 3 sealed cards and a one-touch sealed with the diamonds and the rubies, depending if you're really lucky, and those are your big 3 hits. Oh gosh, it makes me so mad. The last card in one of those 3 mega case hits, one of the cards, they pulled it and they were confused. They're like, this guy doesn't have a team. He doesn't have a city. We don't know who to give this to because it was a break. It was an announcer. Can you imagine spending that much money and one of your mega hits is an announcer?
That would be annoying. I mean, was it an announcer that hadn't played? So it was like,
I didn't know what the name,
like Joe Buck, who didn't play football.
It wasn't a name I recognized. They didn't know who it was. Everyone was just kind of confused. They had to Google it. So I'm like, I would be so mad. I don't even know why Panini did that.
Yeah, that would be pretty bum like situation.
Upper Deck Champions. That's where that should be.
Whatever, Champions.
Good wins. That's where it should be. I don't know. I was just really confused. It kind of turned me off. Of course, the next KC Open has a Justin Herbert to 25. So,
Yeah. I mean, the knock on Flawless is the knock that I have on other products, but it's an easy thing to say. And that's that it looks the same every year, is that you can't put, if you took Flawless cards from, the last like 4 years and you put them next to each other, you probably couldn't tell that they were all from different years.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a very clean product. It's very nice looking.
Very expensive.
It's very expensive. I mean, you basically, unless you're, very fortunate, you're probably only doing it in a group break. And even then it's still pretty expensive.
What's the price that you'd buy a Flawless case at?
Like personal?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've got a son. I've got a son under the age of 2.
But like, if say like in this scenario, right, you could, and Panini went up to you and said, "Hey, we'll sell you this box of Flawless at a price you want, but you have to be realistic about this price." What is one price you'd give them?
So you're looking at what, 7 to 10 cards, something like that. I don't know what MSRP is. They don't ever release for that kind of product, I don't believe. I think like $1,000, maybe $2,000 would be somewhat reasonable for it.
I'm at 1,300.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's where I'd go. I'd go at last year's NBA Noir prices.
Yeah. The other thing that's hard with Flawless in a lot of those high-end products now is they're all on the really thick cardstock. And the challenge that Panini has with that thick cardstock is that it's constantly got little dings, or it's harder to grade. And as we both know, grading is, although right now with PSA being in a weird situation and all these other grading companies literally just coming up like zombies from on the Night of the Living Dead, the grading, if you can't grade it, then people aren't going to buy it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to our last topic of the episode 5, you have a pack to rip, right?
I have found when I was messing around in a bunch of old stuff. I don't even know why I still have this. This is like,
boom,
like 10 cents probably in value, 1990. I don't even know.
eBay 101.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have it graded. I don't think it would grade very well.
What's the brand?
Fleer, 1990 Fleer baseball. And this was, I think, one of the first years. This is the 10th anniversary edition. So this is prime junk wax. This is one of the first years, I think, that they took the bubble gum out of the card world, and they did logo stickers and instead. So each company that when they stopped doing bubble gum, they put like stickers. I'm opening it right now. I know everybody wants to see every card. I'm gonna let me go get my filler so I can tease
really quick
each card.
You said 99 cents. I think it's like a $8 to $10 product.
Is it?
Yeah. So
am I busting an $8 to $10 pack right now?
You're busting an $8 to $10 pack.
I remember this set, dude. I remember these stickers. Look at these stickers, man.
Oh my gosh.
I remember these. I had a whole bunch of this stuff. Now that I look at it, these faded pictures. Ken Caminiti. I remember Ken Caminiti. I think he did steroids.
I have no idea who that is.
Claim to fame. He played for the Rangers, I think, for a while.
Oh, there you go.
Let me see. I'm just going to say the people who I remember, if there's anybody worth a dang, because these sets probably had 600 billion cards in them. I think I remember Rafael Belliard. He was a shortstop for the Pirates. At least he was in 1990. Brian Holman. Okay. Nothing. Lee Smith. Look at this. I'm going to call Fleer. Upper Deck. Two of the same
you
card.
Just did the hobby history. You should know this.
Yeah. Two of the same card back to back.
Brilliant. Hey, Panini still does that today. Let's be
real.
Oh,
that was another thing I noticed on the Crown Royal set. Did you notice that in Crown Royal? Did you see any breaks where that happened?
I have some opinions on Crown Royale for sure. But I have noticed that you'll get the same guy. I haven't seen the exact same card, but I've seen, for example, Xavier Tillman gets pulled, his auto, and then the last card's a numbered Xavier Tillman as well. The big thing with Crown Royale, and I think this is a issue, because I think it's unfair. I have some thoughts on Crown Royale in general, but I've noticed this multiple times in multiple breaks. If you pull a LaMelo Ball base, usually the next card is an Anthony Edwards base. So you're getting them both in the same box, which makes it harder theoretically to pull one of them in general because they're together. Now they did this last year with Zion with Prism boxes, but they weren't in the same pack. This is a 1-pack 6-card product.
Yeah, if you open enough product, like there's a YouTuber that I had followed for a while. I'll shout out to him, Run Good Life. I knew him before I knew his YouTube name as the guy who opened up all the Mosaic. And last year basketball, he opened up, just so much Mosaic. And he knew exactly by the third card in the pack, he knew what rookie basically he was going to get.
Yeah.
And so that is an issue. Quality control. I think the other thing with Crown Royal was literally, so I watched quite a few breaks as well. And literally I saw probably I watched 3 or 4 case breaks. And I would say in at least 3 or 4 boxes per case break, there were a box where you would have 2 of the same base back to back. Mm-hmm. So one of them was 2 Zion, which is fine. Zion, great. But if it's Eric,
Dwight
Powell, yeah. Or
you'd be thrilled though.
Some, whatever. Generally, it's not a rookie. It's generally a veteran base. And then the only other thing that I had a struggle with is I don't love what they did with some of the inserts. I do like that they decide to go out on a limb, not on a limb, but go out and be fun with it. But I think the snow globe one
doesn't make sense.
It's kind of polarizing a little bit, as far as whether or not you love it or hate it. But the way that they designed it does not lend itself to the technology the things that they struggle with in their technology, and that is print lines. Yeah. That snow globe technology, the kind of
not even cracked ice, but the way it looks almost always has print lines all over it. And that is just not appealing to the eye. But, you know, it's cool. It's die cut. It's fun.
Which also is rough and grading in general. So you just double whammy. But
my thing, Pacific. So I missed this last week. I forgot to mention it. Crown Royal used to be a Pacific product that was part of Pacific before Pacific was purchased by Pinnacle and Don Russ and floated into Playoff and then eventually Panini. And that was what Pacific was. One of the things Pacific was known for and that's one of the brands that still lives. There's a lot of people who really liked Pacific because of the die cut. Is it hard to grade? Yes, but I don't think Panini has gone as crazy with it that they could. But I mean, you and I are both going to do a break of one we're going to do and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm like back and forth on it though, because I think I've seen so much of this. I watched a lot of breaks of this product until I hyped myself up for getting one. And there's some oomph, like some big oofs. And it's just like, you don't get like the rookies, like maybe, and then the autos, like a vet who averaged like 3 points. And it's just like, to me, I think we will open one for the channel to show you guys. But if I had the choice between Crown Royal or NBA Origins, I'd pick Origins. I'd pick the product that has a guaranteed rookie auto, because you can get burned in Crown Royal. You can get something really nice like Luka Redemption or Dirk Nowitzki or PA, not RPA, but PA. But you can get burned a lot more often than you'll succeed with Crown Royal. So that's my only thing with it. It's a rough product at the price. I wouldn't pay more for a product that doesn't guarantee. I'd rather pay less for a product that does guarantee a rookie auto, at least give me some hope for the future. But we'll probably open one up, and that'll probably be released this week after this video. So
we'll see. It's all about those silhouettes. That's what it's all about, the silhouettes
or the redemptions. Wink, wink, Luka Doncic. Well, that is our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed us being back together. It was definitely more fun, I think, for both of us and less of a headache. But we love doing it however which way we do it. But thank you guys so much. This was episode 5, BA in Packs. It was a pleasure. Please subscribe, comment, leave a like, all of the above. Adam, any closing thoughts?
We are excited to keep going, and we've got a lot of fun content we're going to keep pumping out. So
stay tuned, and don't forget to follow us on social media. BA Impacts, everywhere you can search BA Impacts will pull up. And again, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.